Hey, welcome back to the Canadian Podcaster Onlin Magazine, companion show to go along with the magazine for May 2025. Happy you're here. Thank you for pressing play. Thank you for checking out the magazine. Wait, you haven't checked out the magazine yet, and you found the podcast, and you're like, wait, what are you talking about, Dave? What magazine? Oh, by the way, my name is Dave. We have a magazine. It's online at CanadianPodcaster.com. And unlike a traditional email newsletter, a wall of words and links. And like most people say, when do I wake up in the morning and go, you know what is missing from my life? Some coffee and another newsletter to sign up for. I thought I'd do something different to raise the voices of Canadian podcasters from across this great country of Canada. And instead of another email newsletter coming to your inbox, how about an online magazine where you can actually flip the pages back and forth? It's very addicting to play with. I just found out that the wheel on my mouse, scrolling up and down on the wheel, changes the pages, and now I'm super enthralled with that. But it's a magazine where everything you see, all the images, everything mentioned, they're clickable, taking you to some amazing resources for podcasters, some amazing Canadian voices in podcasting, some new shows that you should be listening to and adding to your favorites, subscribing, following, and sharing, as we're supposed to do as podcasters. Everything there for you, even want ads. And my challenge for you is to find the secret fun ad this month in the May edition of the Canadian Podcaster Onlin Magazine. Find the fun classified ad. And if you have anything that you're looking to sell, promote, get in front of people as like a classified in the newspaper. Do you remember newspapers? You might have to Google that. But back in the day, they had these things at the back of the newspaper, and it could be, I lost my dog. I've got a garage sale, a yard sale. I'm selling cookies, or I need to sell my car. These are classifieds. I'm looking for a job. Classifieds. In the back of our online magazine, we have classifieds. Now, I'll continue to make pretend fake ads for days, because that's fun. I'd much rather have your ad. So if you have a microphone, okay, stop what you're doing. Look around. Are you in your studio right now? Do you see that box on the shelf with like a microphone that you haven't used in decades? It works. It works great. But you've upgraded. You moved on to something else. You've got a webcam. And you love that webcam when you first started. But, hey, you did an upgrade and you have this perfectly well-working, no problem with it, webcam staring at you. And you're like, what am I going to do with this thing? Why don't you put it into the newsletter, even if it's for free, whatever, and let people know. And maybe we can help a podcaster who's starting out with nothing. They have zero, and your webcam would be way better than not having one. So sell what you have, give it away, whatever you want to use that classified section for, it's for you. And it is free to post anything you want there. So again, I'll continue making fake, funny ads. I find them funny. I'll put them in the magazine for now, but that's a placeholder for you. If you want to use them, it's there. Please help a fellow podcaster out. We're Canadians, right? You're not going to have to worry about shipping your stuff across the border, if you know what I mean. You can ship within Canada and help somebody out with this equipment you're no longer using. Use our classifieds. They're there for you. So let's jump into some of the content for the May edition of the Canadian Podcaster Onlin Magazine. I'm happy you're here. Let's jump in. So April saw this month being very focused politically. Now, if anybody knows me in real life, I'm not a very political guy. I really don't. I understand why we need politics in our life, and I understand that people are very passionate about how they see the world through a political lens. And that's not the intent of this episode. It's not the intent of the magazine. We stay away from the political side of all of this because there are other people who do it better and with more knowledge and with better skill than I will ever do. So I'm not really going down that path in this magazine. So this is going to be a very non-political thing with this Canadian Online Podcaster Magazine. I just want you to feel comfortable being here. But when I started out the magazine, my thoughts were, and I wrote this prior to the results of the election, just so you know, when I was writing that prior to finding out who won, who lost, I was just thinking, you know what, we have this platform as podcasters where people know, love, trust us. They show up for us. They enjoy our content. They resonate with us. And there's a reason why they listen to your show and not someone else's show. They're coming for you. And I think that as creators, podcasters, YouTubers, social media people, we have this fan base community around us who are pretty divided right now. We got to be quite honest. Looking at the results after the results have come out now, there's some pretty clear division happening in our country. Again, completely non-political here, everyone. I don't have a side in this. I don't have any skin in the game. But I'm just seeing that there are people rejoicing in the results, and there's the people who are lamenting in these results. Some great people got put into place, and some people that are also great lost their place. And I think that for our audience, we need to handle our audience right now in Canada with love, compassion, support. And instead of insulating ourselves from anyone who does not agree with us, I think we as creators owe it to our audience to be a safe place for the people who are rejoicing and the people who are saddened by what's happened politically in Canada as of beginning of May, the end of April. Again, I don't think that in all of the vocalization of people's love or hatred for either or any political party in Canada, I don't think that needs to be something that we need to stoke. I think it's something that we need to realize that there are listeners who come to your show who may not even agree with your political view on Canadian politics, but they come because they love you. And to ignore them, to talk down to them, to not support them in their time of grief, it is grief, right? It's a loss. I think we're missing an opportunity to build community. And that's the beautiful thing about podcasting. I don't have to agree with you to listen to your show, but I like you and I like your input. And I think we, the collective we, should be open to listening to other opinions and hearing other sides. I think that's a good balance. And again, to not isolate ourselves to the point where we disassociate with people who we don't agree with. I think podcasting can be a healing, community building aspect in our world, much needed. You're not going to get this kind of interaction on Instagram, X, Threads. No, you're going to get it through a familiar voice showing up on your device on a regular schedule and someone listening and identifying with you. So I think we as podcasters owe it to our community to be in the process of building our community up, whether our listeners agree with our beliefs or they disagree. They're still here. And we owe it to our community to serve them well. So my question for you, as we start into May 2025, understanding we've come through some pretty interesting times in the month of April, how are you, as a Canadian podcaster, rebuilding your community, supporting people who are rejoicing in the results and saddened by the results? I think we need to serve both. I really do. Because in that, people will continue to come back to us as a source of comfort, information, opinion, and strength. Because we're not here to serve our own personal self-interests at the expense of others. We're here to build community. And whether your podcast has a political slant in content or not, your beliefs and who you are going to show in comments, reactions, guests, topics, things that you cover it's going to kind of find its way into your content. I just want you to think about the people who are listening who may or may not be your ideal audience or share your opinions, and how do we serve them well? Something to think about going into May. One of the things I love to include in the online magazine every month are tools for podcasters that could really help you with your flow of how you do your show, how you prepare, how you manage it, how you monitor growth. And this edition, we have a tool called PODSEO. It's really interesting, even if you start with the free plan and figure out if this is the right tool for you. But if you're curious about what happens in the background of it, as far as search engine optimization, SEO, and how it relates to podcasting, it's a great tool. I had the creator of PodSEO on my How to Podcast series show over at howtopodcast.ca. We'd love for you to check out that show as well. And he was on to talk about the benefits of PodSEO and how it's going to help us as podcasters. So I invited him on to talk about it. It was his first time being on a podcast about this tool, and it was fun to kind of have him on and walk us through. He did a screen share, and he took my show in real time at the time of recording and put my stuff on the screen. You can see everything. Everything's there for you to see. And he walked me through each of the tools and how it all works. Super great tool. I'm not being paid to say any of this to you, by the way, but I'd love for you to go check out PodSEO. Sign up for the free plan and just play with it. Try it. You can take your show and then also compare it to a show that's similar to yours to kind of get some perspective. You'll see a lot of great information that'll help you plan out how you can make your show better in the long term. But here's a little clip from the creator of PodSEO on the How to Podcast series talking about his software, his program, and how it's going to help you as a podcaster. Here's a little taste of that episode.
Thank you, David. Well, first of all, let me present myself. As you told the audience, my name is Andrea. I'm Italian, as you can probably get from my accent. I live in Switzerland, in the Italian side of Switzerland, so everything is sounding Italian here. But anyway, I have a 15 years old or maybe more history related to podcast, because I'm one of the founder of a hosting platform that is called Spreaker, Spreaker. It's been around for a while. Now the company is owned and operated by Hired Media, but I've been around Spreaker up to 2024. And then I decided to go for another adventure that is PodSEO. That's why we're here. That is a pretty new company and a pretty new tool because we launched in January. So it has few months of life, but it's already adopted by many podcasters and it's already showing its potentials. So I'm happy to show the audience how they can optimize their podcasts.
So I asked about the free plan and kind of how that works, what the limitations were. Again, it's a great way to get started on PodSEO. And here's what he was mentioning about the free plan in particular.
Well, the free plan is meant to give you an idea on how PodSEO can be used, but it's limited. First of all, it's showing you only the top 4 results on the visibility insights. So you're not seeing each and every of the keywords that you are ranking. It's allowing you to track one competitor only, whilst the paid plans allow you to track more, and a few keywords, whilst the paid plans allow you to track more keywords.
So that's PodSEO, a little overview. Again, if you want more information, link in the show notes if you want to see and listen to the entire episode with PodSEO. It's a pretty amazing tool, and I'd love for you to go try it out. Again, featured in the May edition of the 2025 Canadian Podcaster Onlin Magazine. For the bookmark section of the online magazine for the month of May, focusing on Jefferson Fisher and his book, The Next Conversation. Jefferson started with his phone in the front seat of his car in between legal proceedings, sharing his wisdom and knowledge around how to communicate better with people. Now, he coaches his clients when they sit on the stand to how to present themselves and how they should be more confident in how they speak. And I just love Jefferson's approach, and I love how candid he is, and the fact that he started with nothing. He talks about the fact that he didn't have an expensive camera. He didn't have a full setup. He didn't have all the tools and technology that all the gurus tell you you need to have to start creating content. He had his phone, and he had 5 minutes, and he just started organically just creating content, putting it out there, showing up on a regular basis, and things took off. And his book, The Next Conversation, again, this is another one I would recommend, just like the Tom Webster book from last month. Not only do you buy the paper copy, but download and listen to the audio version as well, because you're going to get a little bit more from it, I think, when as a reader, when you hear the author reading the book to you. It's another whole experience. And in a world of audio like we are, it's nice to have something that fills us up. I think the lessons you're going to learn by reading Jefferson Fisher's book is really going to help you to craft your content, understand how to present yourself better, how to deal with guests, how to deal with every part of podcasting. There are so many relatable topics in this book that carry over to you and your show. I think it's a great resource for you. So there's a link in the online magazine. Click through. I don't make any money from this at all. Click through and check out the Amazon.ca page, or buy wherever you can buy the book. I would highly suggest you check out the audible version as well. Again, really great to listen to. Great presenter. He knows his stuff. And I think it really help you with your show. Each edition of the Canadian Online Podcaster Magazine, I do like a behind the mic talk in each edition. This month, I'm focusing on 3 ways to support fellow podcasters. And at a high level, it's all about collaborating with creativity, cross-promoting, and sharing the spotlight with other podcasters, Canadian podcasters, and how to build community and not be so focused on the competitive side of podcasting, and how we can build each other up as a unified group here in Canada. I think it's something that we could all focus in on. By supporting a fellow podcaster, it doesn't require grand gestures and lots of effort. It's small little acts of building each other up, helping each other, supporting each other, being on each other's shows, promoting other Canadian podcasters. Even if it means we talk about our show a little less, the fact that we can show up and point other people to all the amazing Canadian voices here in Canada, I think we're going to make our world better, one podcast at a time, and supporting one podcaster at a time. So to that end, my question and challenge for you in the month of May, how many new podcasts can you connect with? So Canadian podcasters, how many podcasters can you support by listening, supporting their show, leaving them comments and feedback? And if you can, how many Canadian podcasters can you give and donate to and support financially in the month of May? Might be small, but every little bit helps. And I know they'd love to hear from you. What's your goal? How are you going to support another podcaster in May? So make sure you check out the online magazine at CanadianPodcaster.com. Flip through the pages. Again, I'm calling out to you. If you have any feedback, if you're looking to contribute to the magazine, you'd like to do a recurring opinion piece, you want to share an article, a blog that you wrote, anything specific to podcasting, and bonus points. You'll get some Canadian Tire money back if you can do something related to Canadian podcasting. I really want to raise the voice of Canadians and the podcasting community here in Canada. There's so many great podcasts and newsletters globally with a global focus or a U.S. focus. I want this to be special for us. I want to give a space for you and other Canadian podcasters to find each other, collaborate, build relationships, and this becomes a foundation for all of us to grow our shows, grow our community, grow our connections, and be there for each other. Again, let's go back to the beginning what we talked about. We've just come through a month where people have chosen sides, people have cast a ballot, people have made a decision. Some people are happy, some people are not so happy. I think that as podcasters, we have a beautiful unifying gel that we can add to the conversation where we can bring people together, support each other, even if we don't agree. Podcasting is this beautiful platform which allows us to have time with people we may not normally interact with in real life every day, but we can have them on our show. We can have great conversations. They can listen to our podcast to get a different opinion and a different point of view. We can listen to other people which we don't naturally gravitate towards, but hear their side and have this understanding and a compassion for each other in this time. So it's May, it's growth, it's new flowers, it's May 2-4 weekend, it's May the 4th be with you. Our good friend Tim Truex, May the 4th be with you, Tim. It's this time of year where it's time for growth and new things propping up all over the place. And it's time to grow our podcasts in the month of May and grow the depth of our connection through Canadian podcasters and the Canadian podcast community. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'll catch you mid-month with some updates, some feedback, your thoughts, your opinions. And if you want to get your voice on the show to shout out your Canadian podcast, head over to my SpeakPipe link in the show notes. Leave me a voice message. Tell me about your show. Where are you in this great Canadian country of ours? And let people know about your podcast so that we can put a little feature for you in the mid-month recap every month. Looking forward to June. I'm looking for contributors. If that's you and you're interested, reach out to me today. I'd love to hear from you. And thank you for reading the Canadian Podcaster Onlin Magazine for the month of May 2025. Take care. Keep podcasting. Keep being Canadian.